Casey, without further ado, I'll send it to you. Who do you think has the best odds to win the Calder Trophy for Rookie of the Year in the NHL in 2023-24?
Yeah, I was glad you said I get to go first, because that means I get to draft Connor Bedard. And I think that's the obvious pick here. I think everyone has him as the obvious pick here, including Vegas, where the odds have him at like minus 170 to win the Calder. So no point in putting the money on him. He's probably has the most hype as a first overall pick since McDavid, and he's being regarded as a generational talent in the same breath as McDavid, and it's his shot and his skill and his IQ that has him there. That quote by PK Subban saying that he's a top 10 skill player in the entire league, I don't think that's offside at all. I'll sit at that table with PK Subban all day long. So I was totally fine with that. I'm going to move right past his junior career because we all know how ridiculous that was. But for me, the big thing here, compared to some of the other guys we're going to talk about in this episode and some of the other rookies, is that he's not just going for the Calder, he's going to try to be the MVP of his team this year. And he's the guy in Chicago. It's quite obvious. He's going to get first line, first power play, overtime, every big situation. Connor Bedard is going to be on the ice. And Chicago's done in their situation, in their position, the best they can to put him in a situation to succeed in his first year, and bringing in some vets to kind of help guide him in Perry and Foligno, and most importantly, Taylor Hall, who is also a first overall pick and has played with half a dozen other first overall picks so far in his career. So hopefully he's going to have some advice, as well as help him on the ice, kind of in the same way he did with Nico Hischier in Taylor Hall's MVP season. Hischier had 52 points, which is one of the best 18-year-old seasons out there. And really, I think with Bedard, 30 goals and 70 plus points, that's his target. It might be an outrageous target, but that's got to be it. And that's going to be one of the best 18-year-old seasons of all time if he does that. So, Connor Bedard, 1 goal, 4 assists in 5 preseason games, tore it up in the rookie camp. I think that it's a lock at number 1.
Yeah, that's an absolute no-brainer pick, and there was a lot in there. You mentioned the Taylor Hall quote, or you mentioned Taylor Hall playing with Connor Bedard. I was wondering if you heard the quote. He said that Connor Bedard was perhaps the most NHL-ready now rookie that he had ever played with, and he played with Connor McDavid too. So I thought that was pretty crazy.
McDavid, RNH, Hischier, Hughes, Dahlin, Yakupov.
So there's definitely some good names in there. And I'm also happy that you mentioned opportunity as well. You mentioned Connor Bedard is going to be playing on the first line, first power play unit, overtime, and in all situations, probably playing upwards of 17 to 20 minutes a night, as an average first line player. I'm glad you mentioned opportunity, because I feel like that's always a big part of it when it comes to these Calder Trophy rankings and predictions. You have to factor in of course, prior production from the player, which we mentioned his WHL career was incredible. Just last year, 71 goals, 72 assists for 143 points in 57 WHL games. By the way, that's an NHLE of 151. Not saying he's going to get 151 points. That metric is a little bit broken, but it just goes to show that this kid was too good for the WHL almost since the moment he stepped into it. But yeah, so of course, when we're measuring these players, opportunity is a big factor. Physical maturity is another big factor, and prior production, like I mentioned. So those are sort of the 3 things that I'll be measuring these players on.
A big factor for Bedard in this kind of opportunity, as you've mentioned it, is that there's no kind of clear shot 22, 23, 24-year-old rookie out there that is going to come in and steal it from him. So I think that's also helping his situation.
That's right. But another thing that might go against Bedard for winning the Calder is, we've mentioned this before, some of the best players in the league and some of the generational talents that have blessed the NHL over the years have not won the Calder Trophy. So I'm thinking of Sidney Crosby, did not win Rookie of the Year. Connor McDavid did not win Rookie of the Year. So there's a lot, sort of maybe going against Connor Bedard, and that's just my 2 cents. So
yeah.